Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, welcome back to Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby, and we have the head softball coach of Texas Tech Red Raiders, Gerry Glasco. Coach, thank you for taking time today to be on with us.
Good morning. Thrilled to be here.
Well, what's really neat about this is you've been on the show before, and it's oftentimes people will not come back on, so we appreciate you joining us again.
Hey, when you're winning, you want to talk about it. When you're losing, you want to hide.
The people that are losing are hard to get on, but you're winning, and we're proud of you, boys.
We're all right now, so hopefully we can keep it that way.
I bet you do. You had swept the doubleheader yesterday, and Kennedy got both wins, didn't she?
Yeah, trying to keep her in position to be the conference pitcher of the year, hopefully at the end of the year if we can win the conference. And the weather's so tricky here. We've had 2 home series. You want to build up your fan base and develop a fan base, and it's really tricky because the Oklahoma State series, we had weather come in. We had to move the games to Friday.
Yeah.
And then this weekend, the forecast was range to come in starting around 7 o'clock last night. I mean, there was a weather forecast on Wednesday. I did not want to move the games. I didn't want to move the games because I want the fans to be able to see our kids play. But you also have to play these games in order to, if you want to be the conference champions, you got to get your games in. So, and the conference expects you to move the games if you have to get them in. So we ended up having to move that game to 2 o'clock, and then move the Saturday game to Friday game, which you can see now when you look outside. It's icing here in the parking lot. I mean, it's really icing.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have played it all today. So it didn't really knock the fans out seeing the game today because we wouldn't have played anyway. But I hated to move the game because I wanted those fans that had bought tickets all weekend to get to see our team play. And we've got a really phenomenal team, an exciting team. And I'm just hoping the weather will stop. I hope the snow doesn't accumulate and the ice doesn't accumulate so much that we can't play tomorrow afternoon because it looks like the weather's going to be beautiful at game time as long as we can get the field ready to play.
Well, and Fridays you'd sure rather play at night because there's nothing better than Friday night under the lights with softball and baseball.
Absolutely. Yeah, anytime you can get Naja Candy with her rise ball under the lights, it's extremely more. Her pitches are so much more effective under the lights than they are in the daylight. It's hard to see them in the daytime, but if you get her in the lights, it's really hard to see the spin on the ball, and she's so effective. But she's pretty effective anyway. But yeah, I'd much rather play at night with the crowd and the lights, and hopefully we'll get the second half of the season. We can get the fans to get to experience our ball club the way it is because it's one of the most exciting teams in the country, I think. And when you see, like the game started off last night, the leadoff hitter hit a ball to shortstop. Tony, the freshman shortstop, made an elite play on the ball, threw her out at first. And the second hit of the game hit a ball, and Maya Davis caught it over the shoulder, running straight backwards with her number straight to home plate, caught that ball over her nose with a basket catch, just like Willie Mays. Exactly like Willie Mays caught the ball and crashed into the wall half a step later. And, if those 2 kids are on base, they hit a 3-run homer the next batter. Instead, they get a 1-run homer, a solo home run. We're down 1-0, no big deal. We take the lead 3-1 at the end of the first and take control of the game. But the defense this team plays is really outstanding. It's outstanding athleticism. Everybody thinks offense, and we all talk offense, but you win with pitching and defense, and these are elite athletes that we've got here on campus. And I hope at some point the crowd and the Texas Tech fans get to come out and see them play and begin to we can begin to develop a fan base. And at Louisiana, we had 1,500, 2,000 fans at every single game, and the weather caused a lot of chaos yesterday, and we're playing in front of 300 people. That's not what we want. We want to get this thing to where we can pack the house and really have a home field advantage. And we had a really good crowd with Oklahoma State. So I know they're there. I know the fans are wanting to be a part of it. the weather caused chaos, and I apologize that we had to move the games, but it's just the way it happened.
You can't control all of that, Coach, but boy, we're playing. And I'm so glad to hear you talk about, we talk about Kennedy so much. Najee's so good. I mean, she was National Pitcher of the Week last week. But to hear you talk about your defense and your hitting, Coach, that's another thing. I think we hit the ball pretty good, didn't we?
But we're getting better. We come a long way. We're a very poor hitting team. At the beginning, we didn't understand. We still don't understand all the concepts of offense correctly, and when it's time to move a runner, when it's a time to be aggressive in the count, when it's a time to look at pitches and be patient. We've still got improvement that we can make, but we've really came a long ways offensively. But defensively, we have elite athletes on the field. Bailey Lindemuth at third base is playing third base at a level among the best third basemen in the country. I would say she's definitely playing at a level of defense equal to the top 5 third basemen anywhere in the country. UCLA, Oklahoma, I don't care. Put the top 5 third basemen in the country, she's there. Haley Tony, right now, the second half of the season, this last third, we take out the first 20 games, getting the freshman jitters out of the way, where she was making outstanding plays, just outstanding defensive, athletic plays. But there was some nervousness there, some freshman jitters that, you have to go through that maturity process. This last third of the season, I think it's like 2 errors, and there's been just outstanding play after outstanding play. And she's playing on par with the top 5 shortstops in the country. And then Langler's at second base is just immaculate. She's just a tremendous, tremendous second baseman. And you got Vic Valdez, definitely among the top defensive catchers in the country. And you got Maya Davis in center field, who is, in my opinion, undoubtedly the best center fielder in the country right now. Defensively, she's the best center fielder in the United States in softball. And then you got Demi over in left field now, back, finally got her healthy, and she made a catch last night, just outstanding. And she's played center field here the last 3 or 4 years, so you put her over in left field, and she's got to be right there with any of the good left field. So I think our defense is what, really we can hang our hat on right now behind our pitching and defense, and we're going to keep these scores low, and then we got to get our offense to where we can consistently win these games in the second half.
Coach, what's a shame about that is, though, Najee strikes out so many batters that we don't get to see our defense near enough.
That's fine.
Tell her to let them hit it some.
And that makes it even more challenging because, when they do hit the ball, you can't let it surprise you. You have to be wanting to pitch. I tell them all the time, like every single pitch, you be planning on the ball to exit your direction. If you're waiting on it, you'll be ready to make the play. And you have to be very mature as a defensive player to have a pitcher out there striking out 10, 12 batters a game, and then you still expecting the batter to hit you the ball on every pitch. But that's what you have to learn to do. And I think that's another thing that we've gotten better at, and I think we can get even better down the stretch. But we're not being surprised by balls as much.
Hey, Coach, try this. Darren Hayes and I, we had Daryl Rosenauer and Larry Hayes and some really good pitching. And when we'd play an inferior team, Darren and I would take turns shutting our eyes out in the outfield or turning around and turning our back during the outfield. Try that. Let them try that for a while.
It's almost like the king in his court.
I'm sure Coach Hayes really appreciates that.
Yeah, it's almost like the king in his court, and you go, I'm not going out this inning. I'm going to stay in here. y'all got it.
Hey, Coach, all right, we got a really good freshman pitcher too, and apparently our really good freshman shortstop. What is our classification around the infield and outfield? Are we pretty young?
We're mixed. Langler's is a senior at second base, and then Allred is a redshirt sophomore. Tony's a freshman at shortstop, and Lindemuth is a freshman at third. So we're good there. We got a lot of stability there over the next 3 seasons. And then in the outfield, Maya Davis is a junior. Demi is a senior. And then we've kind of played a little bit of everybody out in right field, but Alon Johnson, for the most part, is a junior. And then Valdez behind the plate's a junior. So we're set to bring back almost our entire club, with the exception of second base and left field. So I think we look really good for next year. This isn't a one-year thing. The plan is, I totally believe we can continue to improve and build our program even to a higher level next season.
Well, and girls don't leave to go play pro softball, do they? I mean, leave after their junior year
nobody will
or
leave
something
early.
like that.
Nobody graduate early.
Yeah.
And what we're really hoping, what we're really hoping is that this new 5-year eligibility rule goes through, like the rumors are, that after the April 7th, which is, by the way, that's Monday or Tuesday, the judge is supposed to sign up on the new legislation this week. And supposedly after that, sometime this summer or this fall, they'll go ahead and grant all athletes 5 years eligibility because of the ruling on the Vanderbilt quarterback. From junior college kids now know they can go to junior college, play a year, and then come and get 4 years of college eligibility in the NCAA. There's a very strong chance that they're going to grant all NCAA athletes 5 years eligibility. If they do that, man, we could be really set here for 3 years with an even extra year of this talented class that we have in our junior class that we didn't plan on when we did all this, but well, fingers are crossed that will go our way.
Are you loving it, Coach? Yeah.
Yeah, with softball players, you would expect them to stay and participate for 5 years for the most part.
Are you loving it here in Lubbock at Texas Tech? And how about Kennedy? It seems like I've heard great reports that she just loves it here.
She's an amazing person. She's a great softball player, and the most fun thing about it is when you get to know her, she's an amazing human being, an amazing person. And I'm saying that sincerely, like, she is just a special individual. And that makes it all more real, more worth it, more just very fortunate to get to come to work and have a star athlete. Sometimes you have star athletes that are really good on the court, or they're really good on the playing field, but then when you get off, you're dealing with issues and you're dealing with problems nonstop, and you're dealing with personality problems and character issues in the locker room. It's 100% opposite of that with Naja. Naja is just high character, high moral, high everything about her is class. Her grades are incredible. The way she treats her teammates is incredible. She wants to sign every single autograph for every little girl in the parking lot after the game. You don't have to make her do it. She wants to do it. She stood in a rainstorm in Kansas City, a rainstorm, and signed every last one of those kids' balls. And I was sitting out looking out the bus window thinking, man, that's just such a rare human being in 2025. So that's what's really, we got a lot going there. We got great leadership in our clubhouse right now. And it's showing, and that's why we're improving as a ball team.
Well, yeah, those kind of players are really unique, and when they're your best player and they're that way, it sets such a great example for everybody on the team.
Yeah, first one to work, last one to leave, wants extra every day, wants to hit extra, wants to field extra, wants to pitch extra, wants to be prepared, wants to look at the film, very diligent in her preparation. And there's a reason why she's number one player in the country. It's just when you see how hard she works at being prepared before a game, and that's one of the things we've had to really deal with during this injury. I mean, she's pitching with a major injury, and we're having to be so careful, and it's caused a lot of stress. But her mindset is she has to be 110% prepared for every single thing coming up. And yet, with this injury, we need her to kind of limit her preparation to the bare minimum in order to be to allow her body to heal and be ready. So it's contradictory, and she's been just been a pleasure. It's hard for her to accept, but she handles it all with such grace. That tremendous athlete and very just a once in a lifetime athlete for a coaching staff to be around.
Well, throwing a softball is a more natural motion for a human than throwing a baseball overhand. If she's 100% healthy, could she throw every inning of a 3-game series?
Yeah, I think probably she could. she's that strong and physically that gifted that she almost, I think she probably could. I don't think you would ever want to do that. I don't think you want to find out. But, and we're very fortunate. The injury she has is in a specific spot that it isn't affected by pitching. It doesn't allow her to run. It doesn't allow her to do a lot of activities, a lot of things, but the actual pitcher motion has no strain on her injury. So we got a really, really lucky break there. If it had been on the other side of her body, it would have been just the opposite. So we were very fortunate in that sense. But, yeah, she's just that kid that's so gifted at what she does, and she's very efficient with her pitching motion. She's able to throw a lot of innings, and she wants the ball. She wanted the ball last night. And, she started out the game throwing 67, 68, 69 in the first inning because she knew it was going to be a long night, and the plan was to conserve herself, just go easy. And in the seventh inning of the second game, she's throwing 71, 72, 70. Everything was 70 and up. It's just amazing how after 140 pitches, she was way stronger or throwing with way more velocity.
All right,
and a lot of it was, she wasn't holding back. She was going for it.
No game today. What time tomorrow?
Game time scheduled for 12 noon. But I think with the weather the way it is, if we have to get snow and ice off the field, I could see us delaying that game till 1:30. But if all goes well and it doesn't accumulate snow or ice on the field, 12 o'clock start. And the weather should be good. Right. It looks like sunshine, looks like 50-degree weather. My only concern is if we do have an accumulation of ice and snow, we're going to have a little bit of time to get that off the field.
Coach, we're proud of you. 10-1, you lead the Big 12. Iowa State's in second at 7-4 in the conference, but y'all are doing great. Thank you for being on the program today.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, hopefully we can get this game tomorrow. I'd love to go into the second half 11-1 with a 12 games to go and a 4-game lead. That'd be a great play, a 3-game lead, whatever it is.
There you go.
It'd be a great place to be.
Y'all are doing great. See you later.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
All right, before we get to Bubba real quickly, tomorrow the first 200 dogs at the baseball stadium. It's supposed to be a nice day tomorrow. They get Red Raider dog collars. It's Bark in the Park tomorrow, so bring your dog out. The first 200 dogs get a collar.
That'll be fun.
All right, what do you think about that, Bubba?
Are you there?
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
We're great. How are you doing?
Oh, doing good. I'm just leaving an event up here. We had our Hall of Honor, our first Hall of Honor inductees here at Arlington Baptist this morning.
Oh, how about that? That's cool.
Yeah, just leaving that. So that's a really good deal. Yeah,
that is.
How long's the school been around, Bubba?
It started here in the '60s, I believe, and been here since then. So it's quite a while.
Okay.
Kind of like me, I've been around since the '60s.
Yeah, been around a while.
Yeah, been in the '60s. In fact, you were 1960, weren't you?
62.
62. Well, you just got the honor, didn't you? I watched the video of Kirby and Will telling you, and that is you said, I can't remember exactly what you said, but you were kind of shaking or something. That's impressive.
Well, it was shocking. They tricked me. They had made it think we were going to talk about the tournament, and I was extremely shocked that that was happening, and they would consider me fit to be in that position. And I'm really happy about it. And but I was, like I say, I was shocked at the moment.
Well, I'll say this: if I was as good as you were, I would have been shocked that I wasn't in him before now.
You should have been with the first group.
I never even thought about that, really, to tell you the truth. There's some great people up there, and I just never even thought about that.
Yeah.
So it was really a shock.
You're easy to surprise, aren't you?
I am.
I completely forgot how good I was.
Yeah. And the best game I ever saw Bubba Jennings play, ever, was Clovis against Hobbs over at Hobbs that night.
How'd you get in?
Room only. Well, we were coaching then. We were coaches, so we were able to get in. We stood on the end. There was no seats, and they could not stop Bubba. And they had really good players, too, that were trying, and they could not stop him. It was phenomenal.
Was it a good game?
Oh, my gosh, it was a great game.
We always had fun games when we played Hobbs. You know, when I first played Hobbs, my very first game, the first thing that happened was we got the tip, and the guy stole it from me right off the bat and they left.
That was your first. That's great.
Welcome to the Hobbs press. You know? But no, we got beat that game by 30. But then we came back the next game. We played them and we beat them at their place. And then we had to go play them the next night at their place again because we tied for the district lead and we beat them again.
Well, I was at one of those games. I don't know. You won the game, I think, and it was at Hobbs.
Yeah, you know, we did beat them at Hobbs a couple of times. Now, my senior year, we played them 5 times my senior year. We beat them the first game at Clovis, and they beat us 4 times after that. And, well, they beat us in the state championship game, you know. So that was a really good game as well.
We need to get Will Taylor on the show.
Yeah,
or somebody.
Absolutely. He's the man, yeah.
No.
And you played for your dad?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
My dad. My dad, taught me the game and worked with me and came up with gadgets, to help me. But Jimmy Joe Robinson was actually my high
Jimmy
school
Joe.
coach.
I'd forgotten that.
Are your parents still alive, Bubba?
Yes, sir. They're still going. They live over in Clovis, and Jimmy Joe passed away a couple years ago, and but yeah, my parents they're still going. My grandmother lived to 108. So we may have a few years to go.
Well, at least your parents get to come see you inducted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be.
Now,
great.
your dad's name is Brooks, right?
Yes, sir.
And your mom's name is
Sue. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. And you're going in. They're going to put your name on this deal, and it's going to be up there with Rick Bullock, Andre Emmett, Dub Malace, and Jim Reed, and Jason Sasser now.
Right. Yeah.
I thought there was more than that. Okay.
No. That's it.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
elite.
that's
tall
a
cotton.
Special deal. That really is special being up there. All my understanding and everything of Tech basketball was Rick Bullock. That's all I ever heard about was Rick Bullock. And I got a chance to meet him. We had a deal out at Tech, and I got a chance to meet him. He's a great guy. And, did some great things. It was a little bit before my time. But, and then, of course, I knew about Dub. Dub was a big influence in recruiting me to come to Tech. He actually gave me a job. I worked for him during the summer, and so that was a lot of fun to work for him. But my understanding, he was really, really good. I think he scored 50 or something against Texas.
Yeah, he did.
I was listening to that game, and I don't know why I was in the garage listening on one of those little radios.
We had it on TV, didn't we? I think it was on TV.
Was it? Maybe I watched it then.
Yeah, I was watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Well, he was something else.
Yeah, that was great, So, and I heard about Delray Mounts. I heard he was a really, really good player back in those days, But, there's
and
Jim Reed.
Jim
Reed was.
I think he was really tall for back in his day.
He was really a great
Jim
jumper.
Reed's on that. He's in the Ring of Honor, isn't he?
Yes.
Isn't Jim Reed in there?
Yeah, Delray's not on there yet, so that tells you how good you were. Because you beat Delray Mounts to the deal, and he may make it someday. But 1,760 points, 9th all time at Texas Tech in score. I don't know if that includes this year, but Southwest Conference Player of the Year at 5. How tall were you, Bubba?
I was 5'10". 5'10", yeah.
And he won that Little Guys Award, too, that Francis Pomeroy Naismith Hall of Fame National Player of the Year given to anybody under 6 feet.
The Wee Award.
The Wee Award.
Bubba won the Wee Award.
I think the thing was I was the only player. I think that's what the deal was.
I think Gerald was like little team All-American or something.
Yeah, probably was. I think he was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. And Coach Myers.
Yes, that's stating it like a fact.
And we do that all the time, and it doesn't matter.
Hey, didn't you almost beat Gerald? Didn't Gerald have the free throw percentage record? And didn't you have a chance to beat that?
Yeah. That is true. He had the free throw record, and I was right there with him. I think both of us were right at 87 points something, and I may have missed some.
Well, he called timeout with the freezing.
Yeah, he froze. If you make this, you'll break my record.
We need another timeout.
But that's not a great percentage. 87. That's not a great free throw percentage. I'm disappointed. I wasn't a little better than that. After going through coaching and all that stuff. I should have been in the 90s. No question.
You really should have been. You were actually at 85.1. You were worse than you think.
I think the free throw line was further back.
Well, if you think about it, Bubba, you had to shoot it further than most players.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
He's sixth all time in assist, 378 and 156 steals. It paid off playing Hobbs.
I had a lot of, I think when I finished my career, I think I was first in assists, second in scoring, and first in steals, But now they got all these other guys, and, they play more games now and everything. And so all those records are not there anymore, probably, So anyway, but I've really enjoyed my time at Tech. It was a lot of fun. We got to have a lot of great experiences with a lot of good guys. And, Coach Myers did a great job of coaching, and got to play against, I always tell when I recruit kids, I always ask myself, who's the greatest player that's ever played this game? And half of them now, think LeBron is, but I always tell them they're wrong, that Jordan was the best. And I got a chance to play against him, when I was in college, and, of course, Olajuwon, Drexler, and all those guys. So that was that's something to talk about now that you get old. You
got a text here from J.J. Johnson, and you'll probably remember this. Remember when Coronado played Clovis over in the Reese tournament? Remember Reese used to have a basketball tournament?
Oh, wow.
And
I remember that. They had a good team. We played them in the final.
I was coaching there yet, and Sam Law and J.J. Johnson, and J.J. sent this in. He said, remember, we got in trouble by Coach Barry Arnwine doing warm-up because we were watching Bubba shoot on the other.
Hey, they had another little guard named Scott something, didn't they?
Scott Williams, yeah.
Yeah, he was good. He was really good. I remember him, yeah.
Yeah. You should say you remember Sam. Sam was a whole lot better than him. Sam Law.
Sam was a good player. Yeah, he was a good player, but that was a tough game for us, and we didn't have very many tough games.
I know. Y'all cheated us right there at the end and won.
Yeah, we we cheated some of those games so we could win. But
y'all were so good. Nelson France was on your team, and y'all were like a 1-2 punch that nobody could handle.
Yeah, but Nelson wasn't there that year. That was my senior year.
He was with Jimmy Joe somewhere. Didn't Jimmy Joe come to Coronado and coach?
He did. He did. That was my senior year in college, and he coached Todd Duncan. He coached him his senior year. And Jimmy Joe was a great coach for guys like me and Todd because he let us shoot whenever we wanted. We had the green light.
Yeah.
And he didn't care. He didn't care if we took bad shots. And he was a real player's coach. He wasn't trying to work it around and get the best shot. He was just trying to, get a shot up.
Don't you love it?
You'd have had trouble playing for Coach Mahaka.
You would have. Yeah. You'd have been on the bench, son.
Yeah. From what I understand.
Well, I watched that this year because that's exactly the way that Jill Snyder handled Aaliyah Chavez. She shoot it whenever she wants and however she wants.
Yeah. Coach Mahaka is a great guy. He used to come out, when Coach Knight was coaching, he used to come out and we used to sit there and visit a lot during the practices and stuff like that. Really enjoyed, sitting there and visiting with him. And we actually played him back when Elo was there. We played him in the Hereford tournament.
Wow. How about that?
We had a really, really good team. That was my junior year, and we ended up beating them. But it was fun to play against him and play against Elo.
Yeah. Well, all that's to be said. You've had an unbelievable career, and you've been a coach at Tech, and of course played at Tech. And we're just so proud of you. And you're just a great human being, and you've had good raising, haven't you? You had good parents and good family, and it shows.
Yeah, I had really good parents, and I had a really good community to grow up in, and I had good coaches. All the way from we called it in Clovis, we called it Play Incorporated. It was the little kids. I had a really, really good coach that was disciplined, and then in junior high, I had a guy named Jim Price that was just unbelievable coach, and then coach getting a chance to play for Jimmy Joe, and then playing for Coach Myers. So had great coaches all along that every single one of them was very disciplined, and I got a chance to learn a lot, from all those guys, So, I've been very blessed with the people I've been around.
Well, what are you going to say in your speech? Are you going to keep it short, or are you going to go way too long?
I don't know. I gotta get a feel for the room before I,
yeah.
before I do it. So I don't like to give a long speech. I like to do it quick,
short and powerful. Yeah.
But I've had so many great experiences, in my life, and I started playing basket, and I'll probably include this in there, but when I started playing basketball, my father, I was probably 3 years old. My father took a Folgers coffee can, cut the bottom out of it, and taped it up on the wall, and gave me a tennis ball. And I shot that tennis ball in that coffee can, and that's where it all got started, right there. And
How
so
about that?
Obviously he taught me and coached me and came up with different things all along the way, all the way to the guarding me with the tennis rackets, when I was in high school and college, and so without him, obviously none of this would have been possible. But I really, really enjoyed it, and enjoyed being around the good people, not only at my school where they're good basketball coaches, but there were good football coaches and good teachers and administrators, and so lucky to be in that spot, at that time.
Did you play football, or what other sports are you good at?
Golf.
I started out playing football, and we ran the wishbone, and I was a quarterback, and I loved it. I just loved it. I loved the games. I hated the practices. And then I broke my collarbone, and I was a seventh grader, and I broke my collarbone, and I was hanging around with older guys that went to the gym all the time, and I just decided then I was just going to just play basketball, So I look back on it, and I kind of wished I would have played a little more than just basketball, but I ended up just being a basketball player, basically.
Well, you turned out to be a great one. Exceptional one, and we're proud of you. We're proud of what you did at Tech. Just proud of who you are and what you meant to Texas Tech. And not only he led the Red Raiders for 3 straight years in scoring, and that's hard with Coach Myers because Coach Myers is not just launch it up there anytime, Bubba.
But
he's more disciplined.
One thing about Coach Myers was he made those guys pass, and he made those guys scream for me. And so I definitely owe a lot to those guys.
Oh yeah,
because they were willing to do that. And you wouldn't find that today in kids today. They wouldn't play that style, and they wouldn't be willing to pass up their shots to get another guy's shot.
Yeah.
So owe a lot to him for that because
he knew you could score.
Yeah, he was great for us. He did a great job with our team and put that team together that ended up winning the conference in '85.
Yeah.
Just everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't have been a part of that team if I wouldn't have redshirted. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Everything works out for a reason.
We don't know what game it'll be, but I can't wait to see it. I look forward to that induction. I can tell you that.
I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. You guys are great, and I really appreciate you having me on. So,
you're a
let
good
me know
friend.
what I can do for you guys.
Well, if you're ever in town, come hang with us, and we'll go play golf.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll play golf anytime.
There you go.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you doing this, Bubba.
Bubba Jennings.
Okay. Thank you. All righty.
You bet.
Bye-bye. Bubba Jennings, Ring of Honor.
Really good guy.
Really good.
Really good guy.
We'll have Jason Sasser, not next, but in another 20 minutes. We'll have him.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
We mentioned Connecticut earlier in the show, and they're new. They're new with us. They're not new with the station because we have had Connecticut here at Raymar, as part of the deal. So we're looking forward to having Connecticut with us for years to come. So anyway, right now we've got
Jason Sasser.
There you go.
Ring of Honor, going to be inducted to Texas Tech basketball. Jason, thank you for taking time to be on, and we're proud of you. Man, what a career. The ultimate warrior. Did they still call you that?
My wife does.
Your wife. I hope it's a compliment.
My teammates, they still mess with me and joke around a little bit, but I think the name was very fitting, so I enjoy having that nickname.
Well, it was. You were an amazing competitor. In fact, you're one of the all-time greatest competitors ever at Texas Tech, and
I appreciate that.
That's quite a compliment.
Yeah, it really is. And the other deal, you played on one of the greatest teams, in my opinion, and I know that not everybody agrees with this, but in my opinion, the greatest team that's ever played at Texas Tech. And there are only a couple of others that I would put in that category. The 2019 team that went to the finals, yes. And Dub Malace and his team back in the 60s. There was one team that they had that. But y'all, in my opinion, y'all were the greatest team that's ever played.
Well, that's funny you said that. So in our group text with all the former players and stuff, they had sent me congratulations, telling me thank you. I mean, just appreciating me getting inducted into the Ring of Honor and things like that. And I just wrote them a long text and told them, hey, man, without you guys, without that team that we had, I believe it was the greatest Texas Tech team ever. And this is my direct quote. I just hated that we didn't get a chance to go to the Final Four and win a national championship because, if you don't do it, people can always have their debate and argue. So, and when you do it, it's stamped in history. So I hated that we didn't get a chance to do it. But, it's a one-and-done situation. That's what Must Madness is all about. It's fun. But if you look at basketball and really know basketball, I think that was one of the greatest teams. And then it's up for argument and debate because the team that was about to win a national championship, I was right there waiting to celebrate, and it just turned around on them in overtime. And then we had some more teams that were really great. So overall, Texas Tech basketball is in a good space right now.
No doubt about it. Hey, didn't you grow a lot once you came here to Tech? Because
I didn't as much, maybe 2 inches, but Tony Batty is the one that probably grew about
a foot,
3 to 5 inches. He was about 6'7", so I think he grew to about 3 to 5 inches, ended up being like 6'11".
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That was such a fun team, such a great team. And you really were such a warrior. When you got the ball, a lot of times I would go, what's he going to do? And you would just relentlessly go to the basket with it.
Well, Lance Hughes, my nickname when I got there, I'm from Dallas, Texas, but suburb Oak Cliff. So I used to be called OC anyway for Oak Cliff. But when I got there, Lance Hughes used the OC for out of control because he said when I was a freshman, I would just get the ball and just try to get to the basket, running over anybody in my way. So he would say out of control. But no, it was just so much fun. A lot of the football guys that were there, also a lot of the former Texas Tech athletes in the group text, they reached out to me, and we just reminisced on how great of times we had at Texas Tech during those years. And again, it's just steady getting better and steady progressing.
My memory of you as your freshman year when you first got here is you reminded me of a newborn colt. You just, arms and legs and
with lots of energy
going everywhere.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Like a newborn colt is what Gary said.
Yeah, you just sort of arms and legs going, and here we go. Yes. No. The thing is, I know when I came there at Tech, I was coming from a winning culture. I won state championship. Was considered like the number one player out of Texas, Mr. Basketball, top player in the nation, and all that. But I knew that basketball is a team sport. I don't care how great of an individual you are. If you don't have a team around you, you're not winning. So my main thing when I came there, I knew we had established. I think Lance Hughes was there. When Flemings was there, and I knew we had something with those two and a few more other guys. And then once we started getting these super great guys coming in from junior college
and I hate to say names because I don't want to miss anybody, but I tried. Darvin Ham, you guys can help me. Mark Davis, Bernard Lord coming from junior college. Then you had Jason Morton coming over. We had Carr Smith that came in with me. Janae Cooper. Then you had Brock Bourne, Shaq Collins. Those guys were there already. But those guys, when they came in, they just infused so much energy and that team camaraderie. Who else?
Corey Carr.
Holly started off with me. So if I missed anybody, I hate to say names if I don't have a list, but we just had such a great team, great camaraderie, and guys pull for one another, and we still are even tight to this day.
Corey Carr was on that team.
Corey Carr, our new inducted. Thank you. Hall of Fame inductee. We hung out. I was just in Lubbock this year hanging out with him. Corey Carr, yes.
And
yes,
James Dickey.
Very instrumental.
James Dickey was instrumental too.
George, I was just talking about players.
Yeah, I know it. But James Dickey, you loved him, didn't you?
Yeah, James Dickey, Doc Sadler, Robert Brashear, even Will Fleming after he finished playing coaching. But James did a great job recruiting us, getting us there. And once they got to campus and I was their host, I was making sure that they would sign at Texas Tech. And they did, and it ended up being a great experience, wonderful experience, and we won a ton of games and a ton of championships, Southwest Conference championships.
Yeah.
Do you get back to Lubbock much?
I try to. Again, I was there for Corey Carr's induction. I want to try to get there more, at least 4 or 5 times a year. I used to just at least get there once or twice, come to a game or two, football game or two, and come to a basketball game or two.
All right, where are you now? What are you doing now?
Right now, I'm in Dallas, Texas. I've been here, born in Dallas, and I've been here over 30 years. I'm not going anywhere unless I get a job out the state or something like that. But right now, I'm back in coaching. Coaching at Faith Family Academy. It's a basketball academy. We have a nationally ranked team, won a national championship this year for the EIBC. Just a lot of top players, and just enjoying coaching. I'm doing a lot of player development. So things like that, just staying around the game, still have a strong love for the game and still have a strong love for young players and developing young men.
Well, you were at Red Oak, and you decided, how many years now does this make it for the Faith team?
Well, this is my first year. So I was at Red Oak for 5 years as a head coach.
Yeah.
Before that, I was at Cedar Hill as assistant coach. And then I coached on the pro level with the Texas Legends a year, and over 20-some years of coaching because I was coaching AAU basketball, even coached Little League football, which football is still my number one sport. I still love football.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm still doing all that coaching. And I got out of coaching probably about 2-3 years, just focused on my business. I still have a mortgage and real estate business. And then I was just missing the kids, missing just being around those young bodies, and I end up getting back to Faith Family this year.
Well, that is great. You know, you finished with 2,102 points at Texas Tech, and that is fourth in Tech program history, and that's pretty impressive. And inducted into the Texas Tech Hall of Fame in 2007. You're going in with Bubba Jennings, and that's pretty cool that you're going in with Bubba because he was a Southwest Conference Player of the Year as well, like you were your senior year.
What year was that?
He was 1985.
85.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know Bubba. I know Bubba pretty well. Bubba also, I believe he was coaching at Tech for a while also. But Bubba actually played back in 85, I think 84, 85, 86, maybe with one of the guys that was there when I was there, Wendell Owens.
Yeah.
So big congrats to Bubba. He's definitely well deserved. And I watched some of the highlights they put out. Yeah, he was a stud.
He lighted up. He was a great shooter. I mean, phenomenal. But your career at Texas Tech, Jason, is just and I know you give credit to your team, and I think that they deserve it because it wasn't just you. Y'all had a bunch of good players on that team that went 30-2, and that is really impressive.
Yes, that part was good. But the thing I told my teammates, and we were so very confident. I think we ended up losing to Eastern Michigan during the regular season. With Earl Barkins, they had a couple of more guys that played in the NBA. They ended up going to the Sweet 16, beating Duke that year. So they were a really, really solid team. And then we ended up losing that game to Georgetown in the Sweet 16. But again, it's a one-game format. But man, that team, the confidence that we had every time we stepped on the court, we had the confidence knowing that we would win, and we believed in each other. And that's what team is all about. So to have that year with them, I think we also went undefeated in the Southwest Conference that year also.
You were. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just great memories, great times. And the guys, the people that were there at the time, I know they still enjoyed it. But I'm just glad that we're still on the map. Texas Tech is still on the map. Texas Tech is still doing great things, especially in the basketball realm.
All right, after Georgetown beat you, who did they play and how far did they go on? Because
first of all, I believe we were disrespected with the seeding. So we ended up getting a number 3 seed. At that time, I thought we were worthy at least a number 2, if not number 1. There was a lot of, bias, Southwest Conference, bias, whatever conference, power conferences. Not like it is today. So we were 3 seed. We played 2 seed Georgetown. Georgetown ended up playing number 1 UMass, I believe, with Marcus Camby. And I think they had a couple of real, real tough guards. And they ended up losing to UMass, I believe.
Okay.
Man, you guys, I remember that now. I would have never come up with UMass if you would have said who won the national championship that year.
Well, listen to this, though, David. We're in the Southwest Conference, a good conference, and we had 1 loss at the time.
Yeah.
And they made us a 3 seed.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I agree with you, Jason.
That's horrible.
Yeah, with 30 wins. And I think UMass at that time, if I'm not mistaken, was coached by Calipari at that time, and they ended up going to the Final Four that year, and I forgot who they lost to. But I'll tell you this interesting. When Calipari took the pro job, I think I was working out maybe with the Nets or whatever, and, I went up to his hotel room, and him and a couple of other assistant coaches while we were just talking, and we just talked about those times back in '96. He was like, man, we were looking forward to playing you guys. And I was saying, Coach, we were looking forward to playing you guys and beating you guys. So we just had a good conversation talking up. But, yeah, Calipari, I think, was the head coach at that time back in '96 with UMass and Marcus Camby.
Okay.
Jason, we're about to sign off here for the day, but let me tell you how much we appreciate you. You've always been good to do that, and I thank you for your Texas Tech spirit. You got it. And I'm so glad you were a Red Raider, and now you're going to be honored at the highest level in basketball,
yes,
in the Ring of Honor.
Well, I'm hoping we can do this again when that time comes. Thank you guys for always supporting me. Anytime I needed to just express myself or you guys wanted to have me on, man, I just appreciate the love and support.
You bet.
To all my Texas Tech Red Raiders out there, Red Raider Nation, let's go. Let's get it.
Let's go get them. Are you for Houston? Are you for Houston in the Final Four? For sure.
You say it again?
Are you for Houston in the Final Four?
Yeah, I'm from Houston because my nephew played in Houston, so I'm going to go ahead and root for the Cougars.
All right, buddy. Hey, thank you for doing this.
See you when you come in.
See you then.
All right, see you all. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live Saturday mornings from 9 to noon on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.